with a ColorStack student panel, y'all. This time we have a ColorStack alumni panel about identities and insights. We're about to invite your older ColorStack siblings to the stage who have launched amazing careers at LinkedIn, Bank of America, and Bloomberg. I'm going to pass it over to Jennifer Cutler, our community manager extraordinaire, who will be the moderator for our student panel. Give them all the love in the chat and the emojis. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, can y'all hear me? Am I good? Cool. Super excited to be back on. This is actually my second Fam Friday, y'all, but I'm also happy to not be the star of the show this time. So I am going to set the stage just a little bit, but so thrilled to have this conversation with our three alumni. First of all, thank y'all for joining the panel today and being a part of the conversation. But Michelle O'Donnell already set the stage. The month of June commemorates so many heritage and identities: Pride, Juneteenth, immigrant heritage, Caribbean, American. Like, those are just a few. In this conversation, we want to make space to really think about identity and heritage and how those identities and heritage amplify or impact how we show up in the workspace. When we think about ourselves, like, we all have our own unique perspectives and life experiences, and those perspectives go with us everywhere that we go. So let's talk about how we embrace our identities, our insights, and our perspectives at work and in all the spaces that we populate. So that's kind of like the gist of what our conversation will be about. I will let our panel members introduce themselves, and then we will get started with questions. So, Aminata, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Aminata. I am a recent graduate. I just graduated from Baruch College in New York City. So, all my New York members, do a little emoji in the chat. But I interned last year at LinkedIn as a technical project manager, and I will be an incoming TPM this upcoming fall, which I'm super excited for in the Bay Area. And a fun fact about me is I've traveled to over 15 countries so far in a matter of 2 years. And how I discovered ColorStack is through a friend who joined ColorStack and was an OG member. And yeah, so I'll pass it on to the next person.
Love it. Ani, take it away.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Annie. I am a data management analyst at Bank of America in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I graduated in December 2022, and I've been with the bank since then. I like traveling, weightlifting, binge watching. I'm currently watching Blacklist. I don't know if you guys are a fan of Blacklist. And then I also like going for hikes and being by the beach. And a fun fact about me is I've been to 3 continents, and I'm hoping to visit all continents in the next 10 years.
Right. I'm snapping with you, Maya. Thank you, Ani. Maya, take it away.
Hey y'all, my name is Maya. I am currently a software engineer at Bloomberg in New York City. So shout out, not from New York or from Detroit, but shout out to New York. I like y'all city, y'all turn. I graduated last spring from Harvard University. And when I was in school, I interned as a suite intern at Amazon for a few summers. And that is an opportunity that I got through ColorStack. So, ColorStack was really my jumping off point for my career. So, we had to give all the love to y'all. And my fun fact, I stress watched Grey's Anatomy earlier this year, and I got through like 14 seasons in a month. So,
girl, you need to write a demo on that, because a month and 14
I like
seasons.
a month or two. I was stressed. So.
All right. Well, thank y'all again for being here. I'm super excited to dive into the conversation. So, Maya, you are up first. And our first question is, have you ever experienced being excluded or discriminated against because of your identity or heritage? What did that feel like, and how did you recover from that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would call this like discrimination, but I think the first time I can remember feeling really excluded was when I like kind of first got to college. I went to like all of my orientation and stuff, and I knew that I wanted to seek some solace in like an all or a predominantly black space. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. That's my comfort zone. I went to a PWI. That is what it is. But not too long, like kind of into finding that space, a lot of my kind of peers started having discussions about how generational African Americans, which is, if y'all are not familiar with that term, that's an identity for descendants of enslaved Black Americans. But there were a lot of discussions of kind of us having no culture and how we value education less and less than other kind of members of within the diaspora and outside of the diaspora, and kind of equating that to why we weren't as represented in the Black community at my school. And it was kind of just a whole misguided conversation, kind of snowballing into equating all of those preconceived notions to laziness, and kind of not deserving a spot at Harvard. And I remember I was so angry. I was disappointed for one because I was not expecting those types of opinions from people in BSA. It didn't help with my imposter syndrome at all. And then two, I was raised in a mostly Black community, and I found so much joy and pride in my experience of Blackness. And I just felt like I was being told that that identity wasn't something to be proud of in an academic space. But one thing that helped me kind of through that was being part of an organization of generational African Americans, and kind of both finding community in that group, and providing the space to educate other groups on campus, and also being open to having really rich, open discussions about issues across the Black diaspora. So if anybody here is dealing with any of that or struggling with that, being a minority of minority, or like in whatever area you're in, I definitely suggest finding a community of people specific to that identity, or if you can't find one, make one. And to also just go into any of these spaces you're in, especially like corporate, any spaces you're a minority. Come in completely you, and then if nobody else decides to celebrate those identities, celebrate them yourself, I guess.
I love that, Maya. I love that. One quick clarifying question. So, you felt excluded, and that conversation happened in a group of other Black people?
Yes, and I think that's what was so, because I kind of went into school like, I was like, okay, this is a PWI. I'm again, the way my parents are, and my mama is, she was like, listen, you got to come in correct. You got to come in, not correct in that like, oh, you change yourself to kind of fit this idea of like the talented 10th or like whatever like that, but come in kind of confident in what you can bring to this space. And I kind of felt like I could be a little bit more vulnerable in an all Black space, and then it was just very different. And
I
it
love
shocked me a
that.
little bit.
I mean, I don't love that experience
No, yeah, I got
happened for you, but
I
I
know what you
love
meant.
that highlight that even in spaces where we might think we are safe or should feel safe, there are times where we will need to grasp onto our identity and really stand true
Yeah.
in who we are and stand up for who we are, even in spaces where we might have thought that we should have been welcome, but we had to like kind of welcome ourselves. So I really, really love that. Thank you for sharing. Aminata, do you think about showing up as your true self at work? So when you're getting ready to go into LinkedIn or at previous companies that you have worked at, do you think about this? Does it cross your mind? And how do you practice showing up as Aminata, the world traveler?
Absolutely. I feel like showing up as your true self at work is crucial for fostering authenticity and building genuine relationships. It's often like tempting to confirm and fit in, especially in like a new environment, and but like embracing your individuality can lead to a more fulfilling and productive environment and experience. Like when I started interning last year at LinkedIn, I feel like it was an adjustment in the beginning. I focused on finding colleagues and other people that I could connect with and relate to, which gradually made me made me more comfortable and confident in the workspace. I feel like one way I experience my authentic self or just like show that is through like my personal style at work. I'm not always like the person to wear like traditional work attire all the time. So instead, I try to incorporate elements that reflect my personality and my background, especially being from New York. You guys know how swaggy we are and so forth. So I try to just incorporate that aspect of me, like sometimes wearing sneakers, etc., whatever the case may be. And that not only allows me to stay true to who I am, but also adds a touch of individuality to my professional presence. I feel like being authentic at work means blending your personal flair with your professional environment, creating a space where you can thrive while being true to yourself. So that's just kind of the answer I got for you guys.
I love that. I love that. And I fully agree. I feel like I get to show up as my true self at work. Y'all, let me say, y'all, I'm from the country, y'all. I'm from the deep south of Alabama. Y'all just rolls off the tongue really easily. But I agree, like just kind of bringing that personal flair, bringing pieces of who you are. You don't have to reveal everything. I feel like this came up in the Slack this week. Somebody was saying, should we let coworkers add us on social media and LinkedIn? My personal answer is no, not unless you know them really well. But like, you don't have to let all of your business out at work, but you can feel comfortable being who you are and letting bits and pieces of your personality show and your identity show. And it actually improves your work performance and how you show up at work when you're not hiding those parts of yourself. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, Aminata. Ani, have you been a part of a workplace where, despite your differences, you felt included and safe? How did that experience impact you?
Yeah, so at the bank, like when I first joined, and now like there's like a lot of older people, I would say. Like most of my coworkers are 50, they have grandkids. And they have like, kids and older kids and grandkids. And it's like, I can relate to them like age wise, and they're also usually like white. So like there's a lot of like that differences in terms of like gender, age gap, and race, and like culture. Like they could be from the south, like they're really conservative white people. And I went to school in LA, which is like completely different culture. But what I've noticed is within the bank, they have a lot of like I want to say mentoring and networking. Recently, I was a part of a mentorship with Black executives. So they try to like make you feel included. So they connected me to like one of the Black executives, and they'll be like, they're really there for you. Like, what do you need? How can I help you? How, like, even if he actually invited me to spend Christmas with his family last year because he knew I moved from LA. So it's like things like that. They can make you feel really included, and just feel like you have a little bit of safety within the bank. So that's what I've noticed. Things like that, networking and mentorship, and we have conferences and events all the time. So you get to meet Africans, I get to meet Black people, I get to meet women. So yeah,
I love
that
that.
really helped. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. One thread that I'm noticing across all three of your responses is that as we embrace our identities, it's important to find your community, like find community in whatever space that you are in. And y'all know ColorStack, we are all about community and all about family. And we can't take ColorStack everywhere we go, but create that community and find that community no matter where you are. I love it. So we have time for audience Q&A, but also I have a couple of other questions. So let's see. Yeah, I'll keep going. Y'all, okay, who wants to take this one? I really like this one. What do you consider your biggest strength, and how has your identity or your heritage helped to shape that strength within you? Don't be shy.
Can,
Nobody's gonna come up here.
can you repeat the question?
Okay,
Again?
yes. When you think about your biggest strength, like Aminata, you're a traveler, like you are a Black queen out here seeing the world. When you think about your biggest strength, like how has your identity helped shape the things that you admire about yourself?
I need to think about that question. But um, I would just say like I feel like one strong suit about me is like I'm a great communicator, and I feel like that can be incorporated with traveling and also the workspace. Especially when I travel solo, like I have to find some people to hang around with. I can't be myself 24/7. So I feel like that aspect of me, especially being like from an African background, my family's from Ivory Coast in Guinea. Um, you know how Africans are. If you're African, you know how they are. Like, and I'm trying to find a way to incorporate that. But yeah, I think that's like one thing, communication for me. And
Love it, love it. Shout out to my Africans. Cool. Any questions from the audience? If not, okay. Shola, what's a way ColorStack unexpectedly supported you as you built your professional career?
okay, I can actually answer this. So for me, when I first found out about ColorStack, it was freshman, the end of freshman year, going into sophomore year. And I did not know what I wanted to do at all. Like I was a general studies major. I was still trying to figure out, like what do I want to do specifically. And once I found out about ColorStack, I was able to find out about so many different technical roles. A lot of people, when you hear about technology, a lot of people are doing like software engineering, etc. But like when I joined ColorStack, I was able to find out about so many different roles like project management, data, cybersecurity, and things of that nature. And I feel like ColorStack has made me feel so supported. And it was just like a community for me, especially if you look at the tech space, you know that there's not a lot of Black and Latino people in the space. And I feel like ColorStack just made me feel like I had a family. I had people to go to ask questions whenever I needed help with my resume. Like at one point, I wasn't getting no interviews, but another ColorStack member, Mia, who works at Figma now, she literally took time out her day, her busy schedule, especially when she was starting off as a new grad, to just help me go over my resume and fix up my resume. And after that, I started getting like so many interviews and callbacks. So like just something so small like that was so impactful to my career. And now I'm going to be full time at LinkedIn as a TPM. And 2 years ago, I would not have believed that. I'd have been like, I don't know what company I would have been at, but I wouldn't have expected that on myself. But ColorStack really made me feel confident, and the support system is like really amazing, from the staff and just to the members as well. It feels like a family.
I love that. Girl, you better preach like from no interviews to LinkedIn. Like you did that. You did that. I love it. Um, okay, so someone can take this one. What advice would you have for those who want to bring their whole selves to work? So people who are interning, getting started, like how do you show up as your whole self at work? Maya, go for it.
I have very strong thoughts about this. One thing I've like been very adamant on doing, or I guess not doing, is I don't come to work code switching. I speak how I speak, and you know, everybody else gets the freedom, like regardless of your race or ethnicity, to express themselves and communicate how they communicate. And part of effective communication is bridging those gaps. Um, it's not on you as y'all hear how I speak. We Jennifer, we was here because
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
come on. I speak how I speak, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. Nobody has had issue with it. And and again, this is my experience. Nobody in my area has treated me less than for speaking in AAE, like African American English, or saying y'all and referring to everybody as y'all, and
Mm-hmm.
speaking a certain way. And it just kind of contributes to, that's who I am, right? That's how I
Yes.
speak. I love to talk to people, and I love to talk to people how what comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, like the biggest thing to me. Like outside appearance. I know somebody asked about like locks. Your hair is professional the way it is. like especially in tech, y'all. Like again, in corporate, like I guess different companies have different things, but especially in tech, I come like this is how my hair goes out of my head. I locked my hair because I wanted that look. I used to have a big afro. If y'all see any other picture of me on my LinkedIn, it's a huge like red afro because that's how I was comfortable presenting myself. So I think come fully you as like how whatever is comfortable for you. Um, I don't think hiding any of your whatever identity is like beneficial to that, you know?
I love that. I think when we are comfortable in showing up as ourselves and embracing our identity, we do our best work. So, like, why put that extra effort and energy into hiding ourselves? Like, we work better. You hired me, so let me be me. Like, that's how I think about it. And I think y'all have like really brought that conversation forward.
And
Do
I
we
just
have any more? Oh, go ahead, Aminata.
and I feel like that just comes with confidence in yourself because I feel like that's something that I've been working on. I know we're all not there yet, and I know we all have to grow and become confident in ourselves in that space. Sometimes you make code switch without knowing. And I think that was really an amazing point that you brought up, that just coming as yourself because everybody else do so. And I feel like, especially me being a New Yorker, some of us, we really have some strong, like the way we talk is sometimes come off as aggressive. And that's sometimes something that I like think about when I'm talking in the corporate setting. So I feel like thank you for that advice and you just sharing your experience because that just kind of um, made me like realize on something I need to work on. So love that.
I love that. I love that. Y'all, the conversation is just starting to get good, but unfortunately, it is time to wrap up. Well, it's been good the whole time, but I felt like we could really find our flow and we could have kept going, but it is time to wrap up. Thank y'all so much. It has been a pleasure meeting you, hearing your color stack stories, hearing your experiences as how you show up as beautiful Black women and all the other identities that you embrace for yourselves at work, at school, in your travels, in your life. I really appreciate the conversation from the chat. So has everyone else. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. And Michelle O'Donnell, take it away.
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer. Y'all, everyone, let's shout out everyone with the emojis in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing about your experiences and just being really real, very raw and authentic. So thank you so much. That really helps people, let's kind of move past, the fluffiness and the rainbows, what's really going on. So thank you to Jennifer, Maya, Aminata, and Ani. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the next session of owning your authentic self. And we're going to go into Christina Costa's Owning Your Authentic Self at 4:15. I believe we're going to the next stage. So I will see you there.